All right, I have recorded and all right, we are ready to go. My name is Laura Burke and I already went to the next slide, but okay. My name is Laura Burke. I am a registered dietitian, personal trainer, and yoga instructor. And today we are going to discuss on healthy eating versus fad diets. And like I said just a few minutes ago, every diet you try does have some benefit, does have some negatives. We are going to dive into each of them, and then we're going to, at the end, we will compare all the fad diets against healthy eating and how we can create something that is perfect or that best fits your lifestyle in order to eat healthy. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat and I can answer them throughout the presentation, or at the end, feel free to unmute yourself and then ask away at the end. So here we go. We are going to get started with what is a fad diet. A fad diet is a diet that is popular for a certain amount of time. And some of you are already thinking about what's a fad diet from when you were younger to maybe when you are now. We're going to discuss your most popular diets in just a second. But a fad diet usually promises quick results, rapid weight loss, health advantages such as living a longer life. They often promote and requiring little effort and producing quick fixes. In many cases, the diet is characterized by highly restrictive or unusual foods that you have to add in order to help alleviate a problem. So it's usually something that is very aggressive, or it's something that is very extreme, and that is what's considered a fad diet. Just to let you know. So before jumping into a fad diet, it's important to ask yourself, is this essential for rapid weight loss? Do you really need to lose weight quickly? Because let's remember, we did not put on this weight yesterday. We put this weight on over weeks or months or years. It's not just, oops, I gained 10 pounds last night. If it is, please see your doctor. So we can't expect to lose the weight quickly if we didn't gain the weight quickly. And oftentimes research shows that the slower we lose the weight, the longer we're going to keep it off, the more better it is for our health and our lifestyle. So ask yourself, do you really need to lose weight quickly? I know we all want to lose weight quickly, but do we need to is another question. Quick weight loss diets are not the healthiest for you because they restrict things. They restrict some very important nutrients that our body needs. Diets that claim that you don't have to exercise. That's another question to ask yourself. Do you or do you not want to exercise? And if you have a diet that says no exercise, are you eating enough to sustain everyday life? So you need to ask yourself, how important is exercise to you? And if you can't sustain a diet for long term and it's a quick fix, is it healthy or is it the right one for you? Oftentimes, sometimes we have a goal like lose weight for a certain event, and we do a diet for a month or two, and then after the event we gain back all the weight. And this yo-yoing diet of losing and gaining weight is very hard on our body, and over time it breaks the body down, making it harder for us to lose weight in the future, but also it creates havoc on our immune system, creating more chronic diseases for us later in life. So once again, ask yourself, how important is a rapid weight loss to you and your health? Here's some signs that might let you know if you're asking yourself, well, maybe I'm on a fad diet, but maybe I'm not. So is there a plan to keep the weight off long term, or is it a short fix? Does it allow you only to have certain food groups or certain foods, or does it eliminate food groups? It promises a very quick weight loss around a certain area. We hear a lot about a belly fat diet, how to lose the midsection. You can't spot reduce. I would love to tell us that we can, but unfortunately we can't right now. Maybe soon, I don't know. Guaranteed to lose X amount of pounds in X amount of days. Always hungry, or we call it hangry, where you're never happy, you're never satisfied. There's a fine print if you read below the big title of the fad diet in the disclaimer. Is it consult your doctor, make sure this is the right one for you, or if you're pregnant you can't do it, or if you have heart disease you can't do it, or diabetes. So make sure you read the disclaimer at the bottom to find out what is this type of diet. Promoting no exercise, constantly running to the bathroom. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but there are diets that say, oh, don't worry, keep going to the bathroom. You're eliminating toxins and you're going to the bathroom several times a day for over a week. Nutrition 101 starts with the bowel movements. So you want to make sure that your bathroom habits are healthy with the foods that you're currently eating. It has you invest in a ton of supplements, herbs, pills, patches. And the reason why they sometimes invest or they recommend investing in supplements is because they know you are not getting enough nutrients with their diet. They often recommend supplements to help counteract that. So are you into supplements? Do you want to take supplements to help you lose weight? So these are some of the signs that you might already be on a fad diet if you've answered yes to any of these statements. What to ask yourself before you start on a diet, any type of diet. It doesn't have to be a fad diet. It could be healthy eating, but things to ask yourself. What diet have you tried in the past? What worked for you? Oftentimes I see with fad diets, we pick a diet based off our friend. Oh, Susie's doing keto, Jamie's doing paleo, and we don't think about what would that work for us? Would that work in our current lifestyle? Would that help us? We just know that it was successful for Sandy and Sandy lost weight, so therefore I'm going to do it. So I always recommend, regardless of what eating lifestyle you're going to change to, ask yourself, does it work for you? Has it worked for you in the past? What did you like about a diet that you did in the past? What came out of it? What benefits? Can you follow a strict diet? If you have a lot of stress going on at work right now, or you have someone in the hospital, or you have small children right now, ask yourself, do you really have time for a restrictive diet? If the answer is yes, then great. But if no, then this may not be the right choice for you. Which diet worked for you in the past? How do you feel on a diet? Does it mentally make you stronger, like you're going to conquer the world, or does it mentally break you down that you are not enough? Oftentimes we're very emotional when it comes to our food, and the diet can either trigger that emotion or it can help us build us up. Ask yourself, what's your emotional status towards certain diets? Do you want to diet alone? There goes back to that exercise. Do you want to exercise? Do you want to do both? Do you want to diet? What do you like to do? Do you need a support group? There are some diets out there that have fantastic support groups on Facebook or on their app or in person. How important is that support group for you? Do you want it online? Do you like to go to diet meetings, support group meetings, online group? What do you prefer? Do you prefer weight loss clinics? Because they still do exist and you still can walk into a place and lose weight. Can you afford a diet? Can you afford supplements that this diet may recommend? And are you limited by any chronic health condition you may have? If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, anything, you may need to ask yourself whether or not this fad diet is workable for you. Okay, so those are just some questions to ask yourself before we get into the top 10 fad diets. And here we go. Top 10 fad diets. Number 1, which was my surprise, is South Beach diet. 2, Weight Watchers. 3, Mediterranean. 4, Zone Diet. 5 is Atkins. 6 is Paleo. 7 is Volumetric. 8 is Raw. 9 is Nutrisystem. And 10 is Macrobiotic. And I want to throw 11 in there, which I cannot believe did not make the top 10 list, according to 2021, is Whole30. I don't know where Whole30 went, but Whole30 is pretty popular, so I added that in there. South Beach diet basically helps control hunger. Weight Watchers has a track record. They're the ones that helped us start counting points and figuring out where to put certain points during the day. Mediterranean will emphasize on heart healthy fats. The Zone diet helps balance protein and carbohydrates. Your Atkins diet started out as a fad diet, but has definitely come a long way, but they were also high fat. Your paleo diet is very strict and very difficult to maintain, but basically if you could grow it or kill it, you can eat it. Volumetric is basically eating volume in a soup-based form or vegetable salads. Anything that has a lot of fiber requires the body to give a lot of fluid and water to help break it down and digest. And that's the more fiber you eat, the faster you get filled, so the less foods you eat. The raw food diet is pretty new, and that basically says that when you cook a food, you break down enzymes, which are important for your health. So if you eat something raw, you get more nutrients from the raw food. Nutrisystem is just basically kind of like a Jenny Craig, where they make the meals for you, they deliver it to your home. You pretty much have to do nothing except eat their meals. And it's based on calorie level. What calorie level is best for you? And then macrobiotic diet, it could be very rigid, very healthy. It's all about eating things with vegetables and fruits and their macro level. And then Whole30 is the elimination diet, where it eliminates foods to help see what inflames your body. You slowly add back foods to see if it causes any inflammation. So that is the gist of the top 10 fad diets. Now we're going to walk through them, digest them a little bit more, and then I'm going to give you the key points of what makes each diet healthy for you if you choose to do that one. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry, here we go. Number 1, the South Beach diet. The South Beach diet is one of the most popular diets still today that stresses the importance of controlling hunger before it strikes. Anything highlighted in yellow on the upcoming slides is what is beneficial for this diet. So South Beach diet came out and it basically said, do not overeat. Don't go long hours without eating. Eat small meals every 3 to 4 hours. Keep that body burning fat, because if you go longer than that, you put the body into muscle wasting and breaking down your muscle. Your metabolism is found in your muscle. So every time you eat every 3 to 4 hours, you keep the body building muscle and burning fat, because the muscle is fueled correctly. So South Beach diet came along and urged us not to wait till we overate, because not to wait till we or long times without eating, because then we will overeat. If we also go long periods without eating, we tend to crave sugars, carbohydrates. So they also talked about focusing on lean proteins, low fat dairy, and good carbohydrates to keep us full longer. So it was all about controlling your hunger, which is fantastic, because we do need to do that in a healthy lifestyle. We know that if we get stressed at work and we go long periods without eating, as soon as we get home and we walk into that kitchen, we could eat the whole entire kitchen. We can eat anything that comes into our face. So by eliminating that feeling is by making sure your blood sugars are stable by eating every 3 to 4 hours. Keep that body burning fat and let the muscle build, because the muscle is going to increase your metabolism to help burn more fat. But we want to be stabilized so that our body can burn fat. Your body loves to be homeostasis, so it loves to be balanced to help you burn fat. So South Beach also started out this phase. First phase was very restrictive. They decreased your carbs pretty low. Then there's a second phase. And then the third phase was called maintenance. They're the ones that started this phase idea, and you're going to see it more with a couple more fad diets moving forward. But it was more for like a quick weight loss in that 1 month that's not sustainable. And then they led you through the phases until maintenance phase, which is still slightly a great idea. Because if you start off restrictive and you know you can't maintain it, if you did it for a month, then you can move into phase 2, which was increasing some carbohydrates, and then phase 3, which was increasing your carbohydrates, and then it was sustainable. So this is the South Beach diet. So mainly the most important key from South Beach diet is to watch your hunger levels and don't let your body get too hungry, because as soon as it gets hungry, you start burning muscle. And we want to keep the muscle on our body, especially as we age. Muscle on the body increases metabolism, which will help you burn fat. Weight Watchers is the longest fad diet moving forward. And some of you may even say that it is not considered a fad diet. And I would agree with you. It's nothing that's short-term. It's a long-term diet. And they've been around forever. It's the longest fad diet that exists. One of the pluses about Weight Watchers is they promoted eat a well-balanced diet. Eat in moderation. They created the best portion size system back 20 years ago, 40 years ago, to even now today. They have started this amazing app where you download the app to your phone and you can fill in your foods and it counts your points for you, and then bam, you're done. You also can save up points depending on your exercise. You can move your points throughout the day. If you want accountability diet and a long-term healthy diet, Weight Watchers is very successful. They have also created online support system. They have an in-person support system. They have an app support system. They have a Facebook group. They have definitely did amazing with the accountability when it comes to staying on track and being successful. The problem with Weight Watchers is people get very tired of counting points. Weight Watchers did try to have a food line in the grocery store, and then you already knew the points, but it didn't go off very well. People didn't like the food, and they wanted to eat the food that they wanted to eat, and they also wanted to do home cooked meals and stuff like that. So counting points can be difficult. They're trying to make it as easy as possible with that tracking app, but people don't want to count points. They don't want to think about it. They don't want to count. Some people love it, and some people don't. So this is Weight Watchers. It's still very popular today. It's very successful for the accountability, and they created the best portion sizes that most of us are still using forward. If anyone has tried Weight Watchers in the past, a lot of people will say, I still kind of watch my points, just not really restrictive. I still kind of watch and record every 2 to 3 times a week, but I'm still kind of just watching my portion sizes. So Weight Watchers create a very nice, healthy, balanced diet for you to hold accountability and to track your points, which is good. The next one, this is a newer one, the Mediterranean diet. This happens to be one of my favorite diets. So if you're looking to try something new, the Mediterranean diet is one that I absolutely love. It's a long-term diet. I hate to use the word diet, but it's a long-term eating lifestyle change. It focuses on fish and veggies. It allows wine. So some people will love this diet just because it allows them to have red wine. It's one of the very few eating plans that allows you to have wine. It includes food staples from people in countries surrounding the Mediterranean Sea, such as Greece and Italy. It emphasizes on heart-healthy fats, unsaturated fat. It focuses on omega-3 fatty acids. It's a diet rich in seafood, nuts, legumes, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, olive oil, and then the red wine in moderation. What is so important about healthy fats? A lot, actually. Majority of us have been brought up with this idea that fat is bad or fat makes us fat. We come from the generation when SnackWells started approaching the market, and they added more sugar and carbohydrates, and they took the fat out of foods. So we were brought up with this idea that fat is bad and fat creates fat on our body. And it couldn't be farthest from the truth. Fat actually burns fat. Unsaturated fat, polyunsaturated fat, monounsaturated fat are your good fats. They actually help lower cholesterol and lower fat in your body. If you eat a ton of saturated fat, such as butter, lard, baked goods, cheeses, then yes, the body will store that fat in the bloodstream, and the body has a hard time breaking it down. So therefore you will see cholesterol go up, your liver and your pancreas get a little gunky, and then it stores fat around the midsection or wherever else your body decides to store it. But not all fat is created equal. So back to that polyunsaturated fat, that monounsaturated fat, unsaturated fat, omega-3, omega-6, actually is so healthy for you that it actually helps unclog the liver. It helps break down in the bloodstream, and it eliminates and it burns fat with it. And fat fills you up, just like fiber does. So the more fat you eat, the more you're fuller, you're more stable, because fat also stabilizes blood sugars to help you burn more fat. So the Mediterranean diet came across and said, well, we're going to increase heart-healthy fats to help us eat more fat and be fuller and sustained. And that way we don't eat as much of that simple carbohydrates and that sugar. And most people who start a higher fat diet, well, the first thing they'll tell you is, I don't have those sugar cravings anymore. I don't feel like I'm starving and I can eat the whole kitchen. I feel very good. My energy levels are balanced and balanced throughout the day. and that's from Mediterranean diet. Mediterranean diet is not the only one that's high in fat. You're going to see a few more in just a few seconds. But continuing with this healthy Mediterranean diet, here are just some examples of what does it look like. And the key to this is half your plate is vegetables and fruit. Half. That's a lot of vegetables. You have a little bit of meat and you have a little bit of whole grains. Whole grains having fiber. Fiber also balances out blood sugars and help you burn more fat on the body. The idea behind weight loss is to make sure that your blood sugars stay level and balanced to help your body burn fat and leave the muscle on the body to burn more fat just by increasing metabolism. You can do it with just food alone. You don't have to exercise. I do encourage exercise, but you don't have to. The idea is just to balance out these blood sugars. So the Mediterranean diet, you increase your vegetable intake, you increase your fiber, then you increase your heart healthy fats, omega-3 and omega-6, through oils, through nuts, seeds, and that fills you up, balances out your hormones so you can burn more fat. But a lot of this is based on vegetables. Okay, that's your Mediterranean diet, one of my favorites. The zone diet. The zone diet it still exists. It's about balancing your plate. So kind of similar to the Mediterranean diet. It's about 1/3 of your plate should be protein. It's about the thickness of the palm. 2/3 full of fruits and vegetables, all the colors of the rainbow, and then some carbohydrates, and then a dash of fat. So it's a little bit lower into the fat, but it really focuses on protein. And protein with balanced carbs at every meal and snack will help you lose weight, reset your metabolism, and ward off chronic health conditions such as heart disease and diabetes. It is the first one to say the 30-30-40. So that is 30% of your total calories coming from protein, 30% of your total calories coming from fat, and 40% coming from carbs. So they put some more emphasis onto the protein, but they left the carbohydrates high. That's the biggest difference between a paleo, keto, is because the zone diet has more of a carbohydrate intake, but they do emphasize on getting carbohydrates from whole grains, such as with high fiber, such as brown rice instead of white rice, brown bread instead of white bread, quinoa instead of a white rice. They do emphasize a little bit on omega-3 fatty acids like the Mediterranean diet, so that's crucial. They're very healthy for you. And it also helps boost up your immune system because it's anti-inflammatory. The zone diet does recommend supplements to help increase your immune system to burn more fat. So the zone diet is the 40-30-30. They are the first ones to come out with that 40-30-30. 40% protein, 30% carbohydrates, and 30% protein, 30% carbohydrates, and 40% coming from carbohydrates. That is the zone diet. You don't hear so much about zone anymore. It's not as popular as it once was, but I do like the fact that they talk about having a carb, a protein, and a fat at all of your meals and snacks throughout the day. That is crucial to make sure that you always pair a carbohydrate up with a protein, because the protein stabilizes your blood sugars. Carbohydrates do not. No matter, doesn't really, well, fiber does, but it still needs more protein. The Atkins diet. The Atkins diet, it was a long time ago when it first came out in 2002. This is one of the very first diets I learned about when I first became a dietitian. And it was eat as much bacon and scrambled eggs as you can. And they found out that your cholesterol did actually increase, and they kind of frowned down upon the diet, but it came back. Atkins is now back with, it started beginning with 20 grams of carbohydrates, which is super low. So they still recommend a low carbohydrate diet, but they did emphasize on stop eating foods made with refined flours and sugar. So they still recommend a lower carbohydrate, 20 grams. That is like a piece of bread. That's small. That's not a lot. But they did add in some phases. So you're only at that low carb in the very beginning. Then you can move into another phase and add a little bit of carbohydrate. The biggest issue that I see with the Atkins diet is they don't recommend exercises. Because your carbohydrate intake is so low that if you exercise in addition to the Atkins, you end up putting your body in ketosis, and then you burn muscle mass on your body. And that's why you test strips on your tongue, or you pee on the strip to see how much your body is in ketosis. Ketosis is basically putting your body in starvation mode. So if you look at, like, if you watch Survivor and you watch them lose weight, they're losing a lot of muscle mass, and that's ketosis. Your body produces ketones and excrete through your urine. So it gets you to lose weight very quickly, but you have to ask yourself, are you willing to jeopardize the muscle mass on your body? And as we age, over the age of 26, we burn muscle mass so quickly. It is pretty quick. I mean, think about it. If you work out and then you get the flu and you're sick, you go back to the gym 3 weeks later feeling like you have to start all over. And that's partially because our age. So over the age of 26, we start declining muscle mass pretty quick. So you put yourself on an Atkins diet and put your body in ketosis, you're going to be burning, you will burn more muscle mass, and then you will also get more into your fat stores, but you risk your muscle mass. So 20 grams of carbohydrates is very low, and they recommend no exercise. This is definitely a short-term diet. This is one that you cannot sustain long-term. You're going to end up with some damage to most likely your kidneys, into the hospital. So be very careful if you're looking at doing an Atkins diet. There are some Atkins foods on the market that are higher in protein, but Atkins was the first one to come out and recommend that protein. Atkins and Zone kind of came out at the same time, and then so did South Beach. So they kind of had a different spin. This was your most restrictive diet, is the Atkins diet. Not very popular today because of 20 grams is really low. I think 100 grams is low, but 20 grams is very low. And we have to remember that our brain digests carbohydrates. So, and you'll know that people who are on Atkins diet or follow a very low fat diet, they get headaches a lot, they fatigue, they don't feel very good. You can smell the ketones on their breath. And they're starving their brain because the brain only digests carbohydrates. So that's why exercise is not recommended with this. And it's pretty, this is not my favorite one at all, just to let you know. But to bring out any benefit from an Atkins diet, it did, in yellow, it stopped eating foods with refined flours and sugar. That did come out of this. So that does help. So we'll just move on from Atkins diet. Paleo diet is very common. It is losing some popularity right now, but it is still pretty common. It's called the caveman's diet, which I said earlier, if you could grow it or you can kill it, you can eat it. Eat foods in whole forms. It recommends fish, lean meats, fruits, non-starch veggies, nuts, dairy foods, grains, processed foods are out. So it does focus on nutrient-rich produce, which I loved, and it also focuses on foods in its whole form, which I absolutely love because we get majority of our nutrition in the apple versus the apple juice. So the more foods that you can eat in the whole form, the better it is for you. The problem that I have with paleo diet is it's very restrictive. It eliminates a lot of carbohydrates. It eliminates processed foods, which are okay. That's no problem. It eliminates dairy foods, some of your grains, and they also recommend heavy exercise. So you see a lot of heavy lifting with the paleo diet. So it's a huge demand on the body. People love paleo diet because it's very simple, but this is one of those diets that you need to make sure that you can follow and have a restrictive lifestyle in your current life right now. If you are stressed or a lot of work, family life, this is a hard diet to follow. And long-term result, at first, paleo diet shows a lot of short-term results, but since it's been out a while now, research has finally got to the long-term part of it, and they're showing that it's not as beneficial as any other fad diet. So there is short-term benefit, but maybe not so much long-term benefit, and it's very hard to maintain. It's very hard to eat out on the paleo diet. If you know you're a person who you don't have to eat out at restaurants or you don't want to, paleo diet might be for you, but this one's pretty restrictive in terms of what you can and cannot eat. So that's your paleo diet. Your volumetric diet. It's losing weight by eating fewer calories, but yet staying full. I mentioned earlier with soups and vegetables, anything high fiber. Now, the part with high fiber is it requires more water for your body to break down and digest. So you need to make sure that you drink a lot of fluids with this diet, but also with the soups and the vegetables that it promotes. Most of your fruits and vegetables also have water in it. But one of the things that I see on this particular diet is a lot of constipation because people don't follow up. So for example, if you have an apple, most of us do not feel thirsty after an apple, so we don't drink water. There's a lot of water in an apple. However, there's insoluble and soluble fiber. Soluble fiber is easy to break down by water. Insoluble fiber is not. So you still need to drink water to break down the insoluble fiber so you don't get constipated. This is a diet that takes your body a while to adjust. If you don't eat a lot of fiber now, the average American eats 10 grams of fiber a day. So if you don't eat a lot of fiber and you all of a sudden increase your fiber to this diet, which is about 35 to 40, if not more grams of fiber, your body's going to feel very bloated. It's going to feel bloated. It probably is going to bloat. The scale will go up. But if you give it 2 to 3 weeks and your body relearns to digest these types of foods that are hard to digest, you will see that scale go down. But most of us get frustrated and discouraged, and we kind of fall off this one because we don't like the way we feel. I mean, think about if you're constipated and you're bloated for 3 weeks, that may not feel so good. So just be careful on this one. It does work. There's been some benefits showing that the more volume foods, fruits, vegetables, your body adjusts to the different energy levels. You don't crave as much sugar because fiber balances out blood sugars. So increasing fiber in your overall health will definitely improve your eating. So this is less of a fad diet, but more of a different way of eating foods, if that makes any sense. It does take time for your body to adjust. Cooking these foods do help break down foods, help you break down the food so you don't feel as bloated. So that is one thing you can do, is cook more, like have more soups versus the raw form. And also just add in fiber gradually and make sure you drink enough water. The amount of water that most of us recommend is half your body weight in ounces. And that's the amount of water we drink. Most of us are dehydrated. And if we are dehydrated, we don't burn fat and we don't lose weight. Your muscles love water. Your muscles love to live in water. They're like a plant. If you don't feed your muscles water, they're going to shrivel up and they're much more harder to have that metabolism working for you rather than against you. So make sure that you increase your water even though you're eating these watery, high fiber foods on the Volumetrics diet. The next one is raw food. This one kind of came out a few years ago. It's kind of like falling back to the wayside again. This one is very expensive. People feel this is very expensive. It is all raw food. It is all you can eat. You don't have to worry about calories. You don't have to worry about portion sizes. You basically go to the grocery store and buy anything raw and eat it. Back to the volumetric diet, everything that I said regarding that holds true for this one as well. This is less of a fad diet, but more of a lifestyle change. Adding in raw foods is high fiber. You're definitely going to need more water with this diet. Your body is going to take 2 to 3 weeks to adjust. You will feel very bloated. The energy levels will sink before they rise, but there is some benefit to it. It's definitely nutrient producing, a lot of whole foods, which is fantastic. It focuses on fresh fruit and it avoids processed foods and sugars and white refined carbs. You can't have any of this on the raw diet. They also recommend not cooking any foods because if you cook foods, you're breaking down the enzymes that could be beneficial for the body. So Volumetrics says you can cook those foods to help break it down. Raw diet says no, eat the food raw, you have more nutrients. Which is true. You have more nutrients in raw food. However, you know your system and you know your body, and some of us just need to cook some of the foods to help break it down. So for example, you eat raw potatoes and sweet potatoes on this diet. On volumetric diet, you would cook the sweet potato and the white potato, just a difference. And on paleo, you don't even get to eat potatoes. So just a little bit of a difference. The key to all of these is they do recommend whole foods, which is fantastic because nutrients are in whole foods. The next one is Nutrient System. Nutrisystem has been around forever, along with Jenny Craig's. They basically do the whole entire work for you. They deliver meals. This can get very expensive as well, and you have to like their menu. Some people like it in the beginning and get very bored. This is solely based on calories, and a lot of us were taught calories in versus calories out. We were all told that based on our height, our weight, and our age, and our gender, we need to eat X amount of calories. We are moving away from that idea because nutrition is not exact science. If you exercise today, and Weight Watchers kind of came out with this. If you exercise today, you get 4 extra points, and MyFitnessPal tells you you get 300 to 400 extra calories to eat for the day based on your exercise. If you don't exercise, you don't get to add any of that in. So we're moving away from this idea that calories in equals calories out, calories in versus expenditure out. Nutrition is not an exact science. Our body, our stress level, our dehydration, our sleeping, our exercise, it all plays a role into how many calories we eat. When your body is in a coma, in a hospital bed, you burn 1,200 calories without even moving a single finger. So you add all that movement in through your day, you're going to be burning more calories. So the idea of eating 1,200 calories or less, I am not a fan of, because you're putting your body in muscle wasting and not fat burning. It's in a starvation mode. So you want to make sure you're eating enough nutrition, eating enough fuel to provide your body what it needs for your exercise. And that's kind of, this one is you get X amount of calories and here's your food, and there's not much you can do to change it. You do see weight loss, but what are you losing? Are you losing muscle or are you losing fat? Macrobiotic diet. This was popular. You do hear a little bit, but not a lot. It's all about eating whole foods. It's about encouraging meditation and yoga, slowing down your lifestyle so you can digest and absorb the nutrients. There is a lot of truth to that. If you eat on the run or you're constantly running around, you're not going to burn foods as quickly. Or you will burn food, you won't absorb food as quickly. So if you slow down the digestive system with fat and fiber, and you slow your brain and your thoughts, and you will absorb more nutrients than eating on the run. So meals consist primarily of whole grains, fruits, and vegetables so that you can lose weight, absorb nutrients, and once your body becomes more of a healthier state, you're able to release the weight. So there is a lot of truth in slowing down your eating, slowing down your mindset so you can absorb foods. But this is also no processed foods, limiting your sugar, which is not a bad idea. Whole30, I added it in. I don't know why it didn't make the top 10. I'm actually kind of shocked, but this was a big diet a few years ago, and it's basically the elimination diet. It is basically starting over from scratch. It encourages real whole foods. It's 30 days. That is it. You can do anything for 1 month. You take out all of your high allergenic foods, and then you add them back after 30 days. You reset your metabolism. It's a great idea. It helps with body composition, energy levels, sleep, athletic performance, craving. This is what they all promise. This is what Whole30 promises. I would say that this could go for any of the fad diets that we have already discussed today. This one eliminates autoimmune. The reason why they could put that in there is because they eliminate all your high food allergens. They give you a very restrictive list of foods that you can eat. It's similar to the paleo diet. It's low in carbs, high in protein. It eliminates, there's really no balance. It eliminates all of your allergens. So it eliminates sugar. It eliminates dairy. It eliminates gluten. I think it eliminated coffee. It eliminates alcohol, legumes, peanuts, anything that could cause inflammation in the body. but you can eat meat, eggs, seafood, vegetables, and fruits, sweet potatoes, tree nuts, seeds, healthy fats, white, red potatoes. So Whole30 was like, this is what you can't eat for 30 days, and here's what you can, and here are the rules. People loved it because it spelled it out. It told them exactly what to do, and our brain said 30 days, we can do that, no problem. The verdict on this is the one of the biggest things that I saw was people saw results in the month. They felt better. They did see huge changes in their lifestyle. But the problem is nobody did the second phase. Nobody slowly added the foods in to see what they were allergic to or what was causing inflammation in their body in the first place. They did it for 30 days and then went completely off. So it was great for a month, but we never got to find out what was causing your inflammation in the first place. You were supposed to slowly add in foods 1 to 2 weeks at a time to see what was causing inflammation. So I think it's great. It did help discover food sensitivities. It did help do a reset, but there wasn't a lot of long term to Whole30. It is very restrictive too. Keto is very popular right now. Keto diet, basically, you didn't have to change anything that you ate. There were some food lists. There's a dirty list. There's a clean list. But basically, it was a high fat diet. Keto was 75% coming from fat, 20% coming from carbs, and then about 15 to 25% from carbohydrates. It did eliminate simple sugars, but it was basically high fat. It goes along the same lines of an Atkins diet. You can eat high fat, put your body in ketosis, and force your body to burn fat, but you also force your body to burn muscle mass. So keto is very popular. It does see results in the beginning, but long term, people kind of get tired of eating high fat, and they don't see as results. This is your keto diet. A lot of veggies, a lot of fats, dairy, avoid all low fat or fat products such as butter and olives. So anything high fat, you can eat on the keto. Anything lower like sugars and stuff, you didn't. So this was a high fat diet. Fat burns fat, puts your body into starvation mode, ketosis, same as Atkins diet, to help your body burn fat. So this is the keto diet. And then intermittent fasting is the one where it doesn't tell you how to eat. It just tells you when to eat. You have a fasting window, and in fasting is the same as similar to ketosis. So when you fast, you put your body into burning fat. So the idea is you have a window from 11 to 7, and you can eat whatever you want when the sun is up between 11 and 7. And then after 7 o'clock at night, you don't eat anything, force your body into fasting, which is somewhat similar to ketosis, to force your body to burn fat. I do believe that intermittent fasting does play a huge role in the way we eat and lose weight. I think regardless of what diet you choose, if you stop eating at 7 o'clock when you go to when the sun goes down, or 8 o'clock, depending on your schedule, and you give your body anywhere between 8 to 12 hours of rest, your body can rest and digest and repair and recover and rejuvenate while you sleep. If you go to bed with food in your belly and you're sleeping, your body doesn't reset. So I do like intermittent fasting at nighttime to let your body repair, recover, and rejuvenate. So I do like intermittent fasting for that sake, to help the body, help your insulin levels drop and help your body just rest. I think it's great. A little bit more on intermittent fasting. It helps improve skin. It helps build muscle. It helps with your brain because it's all allowing your body to rest and digest. Helps clean out your pancreas, your liver. You see the blood sugars balance out a little bit. So it's all about when you want to fast and then work out on a fasting state. And then your eating window, you fast again, and then you sleep. So I kind of do like this regardless of what eating plan you choose. You don't have to go crazy with it though, just a little bit. Plant-based diet has come into light these past couple years. 7.3 million US adults follow a vegetarian diet. 1 million are vegan. 11.9 million people are interested in following a more plant-based diet. We are hearing more and more about plant-based. This is restrictive of meat. You've got several different types of semi-vegetarian. You've got lacto-ovo, you got lacto-ovo pesco, you got vegan, you got lactose. I mean, you can choose a vegetarian type you want to be, and you could eliminate your own food group. I don't think we need to eliminate any food group. However, anytime you add more whole fruits and vegetables to your diet, the more beneficial it'll be for your health. So plant-based is lowering in heart disease, cholesterol, blood pressure. Research has shown this. Hypertension, type 2 diabetes, BMI. It lowers the risk of cancer, chronic diseases. And the reason is just because it helps promote whole foods, increasing fruits and vegetables, which almost all of your fad diets did. It's about adding in those fruits and vegetables. I cannot stress the most important change that you can make today is increasing vegetables into your diet. That alone will help you lose weight and reduce any of these risks for chronic diseases. What are plant-based foods? Grains, fruits, seeds, nuts, beans, lentils, vegetables. You have heard several of these other food groups or food types of foods in most of the other fad diets. They all promote vegetables. Maybe not all of them, but in a way. They all promote beans. Whole Foods took out legumes, but seeds, nuts, healthy fats, fruits, and then healthy grains, reducing processed foods and reducing sugars. The biggest issue with a vegetarian diet is they may not get enough protein. There are protein in vegetables, but a lot of vegetarians have issues with what I call the empty carb trap, which is basically they call themselves a vegetarian and they eat a lot of chips, bagels, pastries, vegetarian junk food, I call it. They still need to have healthy fats and healthy proteins to stabilize the blood sugars when eating carbohydrates. So if you choose a plant-based or more plant-based, make sure you're adding proteins, nuts, seeds, tofu, seitan, beans, legumes to any of your vegetables, regardless of how healthy they are, to help stabilize blood sugars, to keep your body burning fat and not craving carbs, simple white carbs. The healthy eating. So that is done with the fad diets. This is now what's considered healthy eating by the American Dietetic Association. They have just launched a brand new app called Choose My Plate. It has come a long way. And basically, if any of you are familiar with the Food Guide Pyramid, yes, it's been around forever, but it basically promotes everything in moderation, variety, and balance, making sure that you have fruits, grains, vegetables, and proteins on your plate at all times. You do not have to eliminate any foods. They do recommend decreasing saturated fats, but everything in moderation is available. What is considered healthy eating, according to the American Dietetics Association, is a health-based approach is far superior to gimmicks and quick fixes. It's long-term. It's a lifestyle change. It's nothing for a month or 30 days or 2 or 3 weeks. It's a holistic lifestyle. It works better than focusing on one food or one drink or elimination. A fad diet often focuses only on what you eat and drink. They may restrict certain types of food, make you buy and take supplements. A healthy-based approach is about eating all the foods in moderation and variety in balance. They help you prioritize your habits, solely focusing on losing weight. They don't do that. It's all about increasing your health, increasing the wellness in your body to help reduce chronic diseases. Weight loss is a side effect, according to a healthy eating lifestyle. If your body is healthy, and I completely agree, if your body is healthy and your immune is strong, you will naturally lose weight just by feeding the body what it needs. It does not have to restrict anything. Long-term results outweigh by far short-term results. A balanced diet that includes exercising, moving your body 5 to 6 days a week for 30 minutes is what the government recommends. It could be hardcore exercise. It could be walking. It could be gardening. It could be whatever you choose, but make sure you move your body, move to improve, move to help burn fat, burn calories, and fuel the body correctly to prevent injury, and then chronic diseases. So it's a long-term diet or lifestyle change with balance, moderation, and variety. Developing healthy eating habits, it focuses once again on variety, portion sizes. They do this healthy eating, and My Plate does have portion sizes spelled out for you. It's all by colors. You fill your plate with colors. It's super fun. It's overall health and nutrition. You think about healthy eating habits within your healthy lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change. I can't stress that enough. They do also in My Plate recommend, like for carbohydrates, they recommend 6 serving of carbohydrates. 4 of them come from whole grains. So they dive deeper into what they recommend for dairy. It's not just eat, 6 servings of carbohydrates. They break it down and give you what is a healthy carb, which is anything with high fiber, and what is a simple carb that you should reduce or eliminate. So anything in healthy and moderation. Habits are built one day at a time. Unlike promises of fad diets, developing healthy eating habits takes time and work. All of these diets, regardless of which one you choose, even if just eating healthy, it takes time and it takes work. One of the things that I see people struggle is cold turkeying something like dairy products. They love cheese and they have to eliminate it, and then they get angry, so then they overeat the cheese. So if you slowly decrease your cheese over time by adding in a substitute, I'm a big believer in adding in a substitute rather than restricting. So if you want to add in something like a tofu, or going to white cheeses instead of yellow cheeses, having cheeses at lunch when your body's most active to burn it versus at dinner time, making these small changes in your eating habits will lead to long-lasting, healthier lifestyle. I can't stress that enough. And also, when you go into a healthier eating, regardless of what it is, I recommend start small. And then also I recommend focusing on what you're adding versus what you're eliminating. If you focus on what you're eliminating, we go into that deprive mode. We feel like we're deprived. We feel like we can't eat it. Therefore, reverse psychology happens. Therefore, we overeat it. Even sugar. If you are a type of person who's having 4 cans of Coke a day, eliminate it by 1 with water or vitamin water or LaCroix, something else to give yourself your body to feel like it's still having a reward, or it's still having something, and it's not being restrictive. So, don't think you have to do this alone. There's a lot of support system out there online in support. You can talk to me, a registered dietitian. You could talk to a doctor to help you find the right diet for you and your lifestyle. And also with exercise, be very careful with exercise. A lot of us, when we decide that we're going to start a new healthy lifestyle tomorrow, we get up, we work out, and we restrict. And when we get into this increased exercise, decreased food, we create this huge gap between the two, and we go into that deprivation mode where we feel like we're not enough or we can't get enough. So then we slowly fall off. So I always recommend start 1. If you want to start exercising for 3 weeks, then go into nutrition. If you want to start nutrition first, once you do that for about 3 to 4 weeks, then slowly add in your exercise. The one thing with cardio, a lot of us love cardio, and we will start increasing our exercise and our cardio, but cardio craves simple sugars and carbohydrates because it's what our body needs to sustain for immediate energy. So make sure that if you're going to start your cardio, make sure you have those carbohydrates with a protein to stabilize your blood sugar so you don't fall into that carb trap. So a lot of this is about what can you start today? How much time do you have? Maybe it's 1 recipe a week that you want to cook. Maybe it's changing where you're eating out. Maybe you want to change the fast food to a healthier salad. It's about making small changes about where you are today, not where you were in the past, where you are today to help you increase your health moving forward. Small changes. I cannot stress that enough. Small changes go a very long way when it comes to healthy eating. Albert Einstein, nothing will benefit health and increase the chance for survival on Earth as the evolution to a vegetarian diet. I put this up here because vegetarian diet doesn't necessarily promote vegetarianism. It says fruits and vegetables, eating the food in the whole form will provide your body the most nutrient-dense foods it needs. We are very stressed right now, emotionally and physically. We are tired, we're exhausted, and our body needs vitamins and minerals. And we get vitamins from our fruits, and we get our minerals from our vegetables. So anytime you can eat any whole vegetable or fruit, you're providing your body full of vitamins and minerals to help move it forward into a healthier lifestyle. And that might be your goal right there, just to eat 2 vegetables tomorrow. I mean, think about what you're currently eating right now. Are you eating any vegetables? It may not be a whole fad diet, but are you eating vegetables right now? And if not, maybe adding carrots tomorrow at lunch is a goal. And you do that for 3 to 5 days before you incorporate another plan. It's all about moving forward into eating a variety, moderation, and a balanced diet. And you can start with that My Plate app if you would like. I absolutely love this quote. The past is where you learn the lessons. The future is where you apply the lessons, but do not give up in the middle, which is where we are right now. So keep moving forward. Keep looking at your foods, trying to see where you can change and make small changes to help your body into a healthier lifestyle for the future. If you have any questions, I'm leaving 5 minutes so people can unmute and ask me or ask me in the chat. But if you don't want to ask away, that's okay. You're welcome to